Hi and welcome to Chris Ryan Golf. We are not at the Belfry today. We are at Drayton Park Golf Club, which is just down the road, in a couple of miles, and I'm here with head professional Jon Watts.
Hi, Chris.
Jon, thank you very much for joining me. John's a very good friend, has been a colleague in the past at the Belfry, and John's been head professional here for a couple of years now?
About 3 years, just coming up to 3 years.
Excellent golf coach, and gets to coach in a fantastic studio like this one. As you can see, we've got the projector showing the GC2, which is the launch monitor that Jon uses, and we're going to use that launch monitor today to do a little video on driving and something that maybe you can do to give yourself an extra 15 or 20 yards off the tee. So this might not be a sort of technique that you use for every hole, but certainly on maybe some par fives where there's a little bit more room, maybe it's a little bit more open, and you're trying to be maybe a little bit more aggressive, this might be something you can use. So what do we tend to see happens when golfers try and add a bit more yardage, Jon? What do we tend to see patterns that happen?
I find using this system, when I ask someone to actually give it a little bit more of a hit, see if they can generate more speed out of it, most golfers actually are able to generate a good 3 to 4 miles an hour more club head speed, but that doesn't always equate to ball speed. So they effectively become less efficient. Sometimes that's down to quality of strike. They try and hit it harder and actually they're misstriking it and losing some speed, some efficiency from there. And often it's the sequence actually that tends to go out. So what I tend to see is when someone tries to put more into it, they actually get more aggressive at the start of the downswing with their upper body. We really want to be using the ground up. So we're trying to actually generate the speed, but we're going to hopefully generate it more using our legs and using our core more efficiently rather than actually getting more aggressive with our upper body.
Yeah, exactly. So often golfers deliver the club to the ball, you know, relatively well, so maybe the attack angle, that kind of stuff's decent. When they try and add a bit more speed, often we see that the delivery of the club change, and it makes it less efficient.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right, so what we're going to do is I'm going to hit a drive first, just on the GC2. I'm just going to try and do my normal golf swing, and then Jon's going to give me a few things that I can do in my golf swing which might give me a little bit more distance. So this is just going to be my standard golf swing, and we'll show you the numbers so you can see what's kind of happening, and then we'll try and add a bit more speed and distance. Okay, so leaked it a little bit right. Felt like a pretty decent strike, so it'll be interesting to see what the numbers are like. Okay, so what was that one, Jon?
We've got 285 yards carry, and it finished at 303. It was outright to target, but the numbers actually were pretty good. Were pretty
in the
good.
Fairway.
A wide fairway.
Okay, so what can I do? I'm going to one up on a par 5. It's quite open. There's not a huge amount of trouble around. I think I could probably get there in 2, but I feel like I need to maybe add another 15 yards. So what can I do on the golf course that's going to give me that, Jon?
One thing, and the first thing I want you to try and do is actually make a bigger shoulder turn.
Okay.
To achieve that, you will have to allow your hips to actually open a little bit more, but I want you to feel like there's a bigger turn behind the ball with the upper body. At the start of the downswing, we were just talking about sequencing beforehand, where most golfers will get a little bit more aggressive with their upper body. So what I really want you to try and feel is at the start of the downswing that you actually keep your upper body behind the ball, but we get more pressure moving into that lead leg, into your left side on the start of the downswing. The idea would actually be that Chris is going to get more pressure to his left foot by the time he hits the golf ball, and his hips actually a little bit more open through the ball. We don't want to see that the whole body goes there, which I think often happens when you ask someone to transfer their weight rather than actually putting pressure onto that lead leg.
And certainly when we see golfers start with their upper body, often the upper center will move forward, and then they go from maybe a positive attack angle to a negative attack angle, and that's all that's going to do is cost you distance, really.
Absolutely.
And that's back to what we said at the start, where they can put the speed in, but it doesn't translate to more distance. So what we're going to try and do here is exactly what Jon says. I'm going to try and make a bigger shoulder turn, allow those hips to open a little bit more. Again, you look at some of the longer hitters out there, your Bubba Watsons, your Dustin Johnsons, huge amounts of rotation in their hips,
You'll
don't they?
See that trail leg actually start to straighten.
Exactly, lose a bit of flex. So lots of golfers out there maybe trying to hold the legs too solid, really going to restrict the turn. Right, so let me see if I can add a bit more. So what do we have, 303?
303 to beat. I think it was 285 carry.
Okay, so we can do those things. So bigger shoulder turn. I'm going to feel like I start by pushing down a little bit through my lead side and use that pressure to create some maybe a little bit more rotational speed through the ball with my hips. Right, so we go.
Hey,
Well, certainly a bit straighter.
Straight down the middle.
So let's see what we got. Okay,
very good.
A little bit longer.
Absolutely. So that one carried out there at 290 yards. So we gained 5 yards carry, and it finished at 310. So an extra 7 yards on that one.
Let me have one more go. I reckon I can do a bit better than that.
Okay.
That didn't feel quite as middled as I'd like, although it went pretty straight. So one more go. I'm going to try and do exactly the same feelings. Okay, and again, maybe not quite out the middle, but pretty straight.
Yeah.
Normally my straightest shots when I get out the hill. Okay.
That one, and actually that goes a little bit back to what we were talking about at the start. It looked a pretty decent swing, but the strike went off, so Chris, trying to put a little bit more into it, actually didn't quite get the strike and didn't gain any distance there.
Right, one more. One more.
This is
the one. Okay, bigger turn, start at the ground up, keep those good delivery numbers. That was the one.
That's the one. You can actually see on the screen there, I think, quite a lot higher launch angle from that one. The other two that Chris didn't like out the heel actually were slightly lower ball flight, so possibly low heel as well. That one flew 314 yards to finish at 335, so it's a huge drive and a good increase of speed.
Exactly. So certainly felt those things. Really, that bigger shoulder turn really helped me. I felt like I could actually start the downswing better. Felt like I put some pressure through that lead side and made sure that as I was hitting the golf ball, I kept my head sort of back behind the ball, which is hopefully where it was at setup. So hopefully some things that you can do probably on the range first. You know, so these things you don't want to take straight to the course. Bit of practice time. If you can get access to a GC2 or something like that, fantastic. If not, on the course, if you're practicing, maybe just put 2 balls down, hit one normally, try and do a couple of those things, and then just see which one goes further. You might find that it gives you a bit more distance. You might find you can get to that par 5 in 2. If not, you might have a shorter iron in, and hopefully you're going to have a shorter birdie putt. So big thanks to John for his time and letting us come into his studio today. Really, really nice place, especially like you say when it's December. Nice to have this kind of area to coach in. So thank you very much for watching the video. Hopefully you say some practical stuff you can take to the range. If you did like the video, please click the like button. If you've got any comments on this video or any of the videos, you can post those in the boxes down below. And please subscribe to my channel if you haven't done already. There is a link in the description box. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you again next time.